Hello everyone and welcome. This is Chloe here at Cousin DIY. Today I am going to show you how to make this gemstone 3-piece jewelry set. As a bonus, we'll be including instructions for this bracelet that uses the very same techniques that we use in the necklace. So I'm going to take a minute to get set up and I'll be right back and we'll get started. The first step is to cut two 5-inch lengths of extender chain. You can always cut it longer if you want your necklace to hang lower on your neck. The next step is to attach a 4mm jump ring on one end of each chain. And then attach another 4mm jump ring to that one. So there will be two 4mm jump rings at one end of each length of chain. I find it helpful to use 2 pairs of needle nose pliers to work my jump rings, but you could also use round nose and needle nose together. That works too. Next, we are going to cut a 12-inch length of beading wire and connect that to the bottom jump ring on one length of chain. So the crimp tube, go through that bottom jump ring, come back through. We use our crimping pliers to close that crimp tube. And next I am going to trim that little tail of wire. The next step is to select 9 gemstones and arrange them in a pattern that you're happy with. So you'll want to play with this a little bit. That works. The stones you'll find are irregular. You're not going to be able to match them up side to side perfectly, but that's part of the appeal of this natural necklace. Now, in between each bead, before and after each bead, we are going to string on a gold E-bead, a dark brown disc, another gold E-bead, and then slide on a bead. And we're going to repeat that. And we'll just be repeating this until we have all our gemstones on our beading wire. Okay, now that we have all of our beads strung on our beading wire, the next step is to attach the wire on this side to the bottom 4mm jump ring on the other chain. So again, we'll take a crimp tube, go through that bottom jump ring. We want to make sure these jump rings are closed nice and snug. Snug that wire up Make sure that the beads drape nicely. And use your crimping pliers to close the crimp tube. Trim your tail. Now the next step is to attach a lobster clasp to the other end of one of your chains, and to do that, you want to use a 4mm jump ring. And attach a 6mm jump ring on the end of your other length of chain. Then I like to try to straighten my chains out a little bit. There. Whoops. Sometimes I find on these lobster clasps I use my needle nose pliers, and I will open and close them a couple times. Sometimes they tend to stick when you first start to use them, and that method seems to work pretty well to loosen them up. There we go. Now I'm going to set this aside for a minute. Cut another 12-inch length of beading wire. The next step is to add a couple more 4mm jump rings on the bottom of each end of chain. I'm going to add them to that bottom 4mm on each side. So we'll add one. I'm just going to pick up the second one, and I'm going to attach that on the inside edge of that bottom 4mm. And I'm going to repeat this on the other side. That on the inside edge of that bottom 4mm jump ring. Next, I'm going to take that 12-inch length of beading wire that we cut and attach it to one of these new jump rings. Go through that bottom jump ring. Back through the crimp tube. And close the crimp. Trim the tail. And then I'm going to start stringing on a pattern of gold E-bead and a dark brown disc. And I'm just going to keep repeating that and checking for the drape. I want it to drape nicely right inside the top of my gemstone strand. So we start with a gold E-bead, a disc. We just keep going until we reach the desired length. we'll find another crimp tube and connect the other side of this wire to the bottom jump ring on this side of the necklace. Use your crimping pliers to close the crimp tube. And cut your tail. There we have the necklace completed. Next, I'll set up for the earrings. We'll be right back and we'll get started. I've sorted through my beads and I have tried to find two similar size, shape, and color beads for the bottom and two different size, shape, and color beads for the top. And I've decided on these. So you can go through your beads and every strand is different, so yours will probably be different too. But the first step is to make the bead drop for the bottom. So we'll start with a seed bead. I'll set those aside. Slide the gemstone on, another seed bead, a disc, and a seed bead. Then we'll trim the end of the stem and for a loop. Next, we'll make the top bead link. For that, I decided to start with a disc, add an E-bead, slide on the gemstone, and end with seed bead, disc, and seed bead. Next step is to assemble the earring. I'll start by opening the loop at the bottom of an ear wire, sliding the bead link on, and then adding the bead drop to the bottom loop. Now I'm just going to repeat that process to make the matching earring. There's the matching earring. the necklace. And as I said before, the instructions will include the directions for the matching bracelet. It just uses the same techniques that we used in the necklace. So I'm going to go ahead and try these on. Thanks for joining us today. If you make your own gemstone jewelry set, we'd love for you to share it with us on Instagram at #CreateWithCousin. Hope to see you soon. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.